Okay, so this problem is relating to normal distributions and finding out by using the z-score tables for normal distributions the percentage of population in this problem that has a resting heart rate above 65 beats per minute. Okay, so above means something to the right. Okay, so let's find out the z-score. We do that by taking the data point of 65 and we're going to subtract the mean. The mean is 70 in this problem, and divide by the standard deviation, which is 10. So we end up with negative 5 over 10, which is negative 0.5. So there's tables that you can look up. Some of them are for negative z-scores, and in this case our point is going to be a negative z-score. So the z-score is going to be somewhere over here, and it's going to be everything to the left of that. So let's look up on your standard table. Here's one for positive z-scores. That's where you have a z that's in the positive or to the right of the 0. But we're going to use the one that's negative or to the left of the 0. So remember we said it was negative 0.5. So if I come down here, look at negative 0.5. And sometimes you'll end up with an extra decimal place like 0.51 or 0.52, and that's where you go across and take that second decimal place. In this case we're just 0.5, so that's 0.3085. 0.3085. So 0.3085, that says that this shaded area, or the area to the left of this, is about 30.9%. That means 30.9% of the people will have a resting heart rate below 65. But we want above, so what we do, then the total percentage is 100% or 1, then we do 1 minus 0.3085. And that will give us 0.6915, which is about 69.2%. So the answer to the problem is the percentage of the population with a resting heart rate above 65 is 69.2%. So the next part of this problem, the next problem is, now we want this, using the same data, what percentage will have a resting heart rate below 58 beats per minute. So we're going to find our z-score by plugging in 58 as our data point, minus x bar. The x bar, which is the mean, is 70 over 10. So now we have, that's negative 12 over 10, which is negative 1.2. So we still have a negative z-score, so we're going to pull out our negative z-score chart, and at negative 1.2 it's 0.1151. And so notice all of our areas are to the left. All our z-scores are to the left on the curve. So what that means is what did I have? 0.1131, or 11.3% are going to be below 58 beats per minute. If they'd said above, then we would just take 1 minus that, or 100% minus that, to get the answer. And then for number 22, okay, so now in this question it's between 60 and 75 beats per minute. So on our normalized z or normalized distribution. We want to know what's between these two z-scores. So let's do the 60. The z-score for the 60 is 60 minus 70 over 10. And that's negative 10 over 10, which is negative 1. So I'll put a negative 1 there. And then 75, which would be 75 minus 70 over 10, which is 0.5, and that's a positive 0.5. Okay, so remember when we convert our z-scores, we're getting the percentage that is below whatever we're talking about here. So if we start with the 0.5, we're on our positive z chart, it's 0.6915. 0.6915. So 0.6915, that says 69% of the data is less than 75 beats a minute. And now we need to figure out what corresponds to the negative 1 for z. So we pull that up. Negative 1.1587. 0.1587. So we need to find out what's the in between. So remember the 0.6915, that would be like everything to the left. But there's this little piece right here that we don't want to include. So we take this number and subtract off that little piece. So the answer is 0.5328, which says that about 53.3% of the population has a resting heart rate between 60 and 75.